me, when they go to the assessors, how can the assessors justify there being any value to that land at all if nothing was paid for? I think it's very hard to justify that. So to me, it doesn't go back to the tax rolls. That's my problem. But, you know, I hear what you're saying. I think we ought to inquire, because we really put that property up to aid citizens, and how come nobody bought it? It doesn't make any sense.
Yes, Mr. Dean.
I have no problem with putting it on until next year, because we did have a process, and evidently nobody was interested, and I certainly am not going to give the land away just to get it put back on the tax rolls. I'd be interested to know what happened to Mr. Frothingill. I mean, I assume he knew about it, but maybe he just is not interested. I'm probably not going to be in favor of lowering that minimum price, but if the board decides as a majority, I certainly will abide by it.
I'd like to just make
I'm not going to give it away.
Come back to the board.
Yeah, I'm not going to give it away.
I think it's worthwhile asking the question why.
Yeah.
Then we can proceed with the next step.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. Just a couple of other catch-up items. I'm informed that the site paving at the police and fire station will be taking place this Friday. So that's the date for the site to be paved. And upon completion of the paving, I'm expecting that we will be moving our police and fire mechanic back to the building forthwith. As you know, we've been out at Ipswich River Park. This time, the appropriate place for him to be is in the basement of the police and fire station, where he's been for years, and we fully intend to begin that action. So as soon as the site is done, we'll begin that process. We'll relocate the mechanic back to the police and fire station. And then just one final note is I had an opportunity to attend a meeting in Lowell on Friday afternoon. Lieutenant Governor Murray was there. It was a meeting of his cabinet officers, and they invited in a bunch of municipal officials from the area to tell them what they could do better. And it was a 2-hour meeting, and it really, I think it went pretty well. But the issues that seemed to be central to the entire discussion was sufficient funding for special education and fully funding the special education circuit breaker, whereas other communities are in a similar situation to this town with funding for special education, the legal obligations to do so, and the budgetary realities that there is a finite amount of funds that are available for that purpose. The other items that were brought up were related to the GIC, the Group Insurance Commission, and whether the administration would structure the GIC program so that it was similar to the way it's structured on the state level, which is the state decides what's appropriate, and that's what's provided to the union membership. And so those were really the two items that I took from the meeting that were most sufficient. Other communities are struggling with public pension costs, similar to us, and I think he left with an idea, Lieutenant Governor left with an idea that cities and towns face some unique challenges right now with regard to funding their budget and funding services in an adequate level. So, that concludes my report.
No feedback on what they're
I think they're just at the point of listening to see if there's common themes, and the special education has been a common theme, the Group Insurance Commission has been a common theme, and other communities that they've gone to. I certainly heard the same.
With all the press and discussion over the past 2 years, you would think they didn't need to do that to pull those 3 out of the list.
Can I ask a question? Phone. We have times, deliverable dates for when the phones for the town hall. If you ask me, I'll tell you this week. Okay. That's my plan. Is that this is supposed to begin the installation of the phones here at town hall this week. Okay. I have no reason to believe that that's not going to happen. Okay.
But there have been a number of dates that have gone back and forth, and they've been doing it on an incremental basis, with the fire station being phase 2, with the town hall being phase 3. So
your recommendation, we be patient, or should we, is there some fire we can light under these people to get this done? Or we should be patient?
Well, I will say that.
It seems like we've been patient.
Well, not all of the problems are the problem of the people that provide us with the phone equipment. Some of the issues relate to ability to get dial tone here in this building, and services that are provided by Verizon. And it's just been a struggle to be able to coordinate that. And no one is to blame, it's just that it's not an area where they're that's high on the priority list of the big corporations.
Well, especially where they're not really putting in the T1 line.
Right.
So it's, the T1 line is being provided by another vendor, and it's coming in on Verizon's copper. So they'd be the issue. But this week would be nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Anything else for you? Steve?
Thanks.
Build a new business.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Lieutenant Hayes on his retirement. Unfortunately, I had a family situation where I wasn't able to attend the gathering at the police station for him, but Eddie Hayes has served the community long and well, and wish him the best of a long and happy and healthy retirement with he and his family, and I guess he's into pasta these days, so I'll have to go up and try the restaurant. But again, to Lieutenant Hayes and his family, congratulations on a well-deserved retirement, and thank you very much for his service to the community over 36 years or so. In relation to the police department, and we have the appointments tonight, Mr. Collins, what is the timetable for the assessment centers on the chief's positions?
We'll be setting up meetings to interview the consultants, and that process will be completed this month. And we'll have a selection with a firm ready to go to begin the interview process during the month of December.
Just after the first January appointments in January?
Yes.
So then that wouldn't interfere with, I don't know, the police department, the civil service list that's in existence is good for at least another year. I don't know what it is on the fire department side, for promotional opportunities. Are we gonna run into any timelines in relation to firefighters having to take tests for March, promotion afterwards, or do we have existing lists which will survive the year?
The fire department, there'll be a promotional exam for captain. We have two acting positions, and I say acting with a small a because sometimes people are offended that I don't use the right term of provisional or acting, but we have two acting positions. One is the chief, which will be handled through the assessment center. The second is a captain's position. There are no further candidates on the last captain's list, so that has expired. And there's a new examination that will be given this month. So in the middle part of November, there's another examination that will be given. And then we will expect that there will be a new captain's list that will be created by Human Resources, be available sometime in the time frame of about March of 2008. And at that time, we'll be able to make a permanent captain's appointment from that list.
They're all studying now, so
So
we don't have any short notice for all this.
No, they've known for a long time.
It's in their contract.
And we've requisitioned for that exam, and we're in line for it, and as Michael mentioned, everyone's studying for it. So that will be the final permanent appointment that needs to take place in the division chief in that department. On the police side, the most recent list that we have that we appointed Lieutenant Brennan and Sergeant Murphy from will not be expiring for approximately 2 more years. So what the next step will be is that we will be requisitioning HRD for a acting captain and acting lieutenant and acting sergeant position. And we will be proceeding with making acting appointments. Those are due to the fact that until the chief is permanently appointed, we are obligated to make acting appointments. And so what we will be doing is we'll be receiving the list which will have more or less the same candidates that we talked as the result of the most recent round. We'll make those 2 acting appointments, and I'm anticipating that certainly within the timeframe I've described to you, that we will be able to make permanent appointments from the existing lieutenant and existing sergeant's list before those lists would be expiring. The final step would be then 2 last positions, which would be patrolmen, and those would be replacing the individuals who retired within the last 6 months. That would be former Chief Purnell and former Chief Lieutenant Hayes. We've made a requisition, and we've received names of individuals to appoint as patrolmen, and we're proceeding and ready to make those appointments.
Great. Sounds like we're on track.
Okay.
That's good.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Regarding that, or?
Oh, no, well, no, if Steve was done, could we let Mr. Pierce know what we did on his land? He came in.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, rather than keep him here.
Sure. Basically, we're waiting now for town council to review that agreement, so we haven't taken any action.
Because we haven't heard from them.
We will take action at our next meeting, assuming that we will get feedback from town council. So we've asked them to review the agreement that you presented.
Okay. And you got the copies of the other ones that we sent in, so you can see that everybody else, in fact, is on board with it. So.
That's being provided to town council.
Yes, that's what the board reviewed tonight, Warren, was those two agreements.
Yeah. And basically, it's just an access, you know, an access agreement. Right. So we do, just so you know, this project, you know, we've been working on for quite a while, and basically, it's the finishing of the project, the purchase, the sale, all the stuff's hanging on getting this finally finished off, which actually was the seller's responsibility initially. Didn't follow through on it, so we're trying to get it squared away. Okay? Okay, thank you.
Mr. O'Leary.
Yeah, I just had one other matter regarding the Route 62 project. I see a flurry of activity in the last week or so. Apparently, it must be coming close to the end here, where I see that they're addressing the ADA issues in relation to the curb cuts, those types of things. I still haven't seen, none of us have seen, any activity in relation to the utility poles that are in the middle of the sidewalks, which we were assured and promised would be addressed and taken care of. I don't know, again, where the responsibility lies and whether funds are still going to be held until those things are taken care of, those issues are taken care of. Just between the bottom of Oakdale Road and St. Teresa's Church, there's going to be a dozen telephone poles that are pretty close to smack dab in the middle of the sidewalk and can't possibly make those sidewalks ADA compliant. And 2-3 years ago, there were assurances that those utilities would be moved and access would be free and clear on those sidewalks. And still, to this day, it's yet to be addressed. We have some nice finished sidewalks all around them. So I don't want the issue to be dropped or lost. I think if the general contractor has some culpability or responsibility here, they should be held, he should be held to the fire. And if it's the local utilities, if you're running municipal light, loan poles.
I think it's the town that raised the issues of the ADA. The state was responsible. And back to the contractor.
This was in the infancy stages. It was raised by the town, because as they first laid it out, those were the right.
Well, I
in
know
the
that,
wrong place.
Mike has been working the punch list as a property handle.
Okay, but I'm not so sure these are still on the punch list, and I don't know.
I'll see Dave Hanlon tomorrow morning. Another issue will ask him.
Other than that, I'll send Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Michael?
I'd just like to join Mr. O'Leary in congratulating Lieutenant Hayes on a long career, and congratulate Sergeant Murphy